Hey there. So I got a bit inspired by a lot of people like Andreas and like Julia and Mike who are doing all sorts of super cool life hacking. And I thought I'd give it a shot at recording myself while first fixing a tiny Firefox bug that I found the other day. And let's see how it looks. So the bug is here, right? So uh, basically when site isolation, aka fission, is enabled, uh, external protocol links don't work at all, right? So this is a tiny magnet link, which is supposed to allow me to open new, open an external application, and that's just not working at all. And if I launch Firefox with a different profile, without site isolation enabled, you can see the actual behavior that you're supposed to get, which is a tiny prompt saying allow yada yada to open the magnet link, and then you choose an application and then it works, right? So this doesn't work only if you're in an external in a cross-origin iframe. I use just HTTP versus HTTPS for the test case, but it works if there's in the same domain or something. So if I make this HTTPS, then I get the right behavior here. So I have my Firefox build right here. Let me try to make this a bit larger. And first I'm going to double check that the test case is a debug build. And without fission enabled, which is the default configuration, then I should get the right behavior. There we go. And now I'm gonna try to run it with fission and see if I see what may be going wrong. Because we have some external protocol blocking stuff, but it's supposed to print a warning when you hit it. And we're not getting any warning in the console. So something is clearly going wrong somewhere. So run enable fission, I think. Oh, aha. Okay, I was not expecting a crash offhand. I guess we can debug it. So we get all the Firefox output here. I'm gonna open DTB in a separate terminal. Usually I would probably use RR, but I was not expecting a crash at the first try at least. Anyways, so we're hitting assertion. Let's read a bit more while. So something in browsing context.cpp is in process. And that's obviously crashing in a debug build. So let's go up. So we're trying to figure out whether we should block this iframe navigation. And we're checking if the parent page is same origin with top. And I think I start to see what's going wrong here. So, in this case, we are navigating the iframe from the iframe itself. But this code, which I wrote, which is here, let's open it with Searchbox. So basically, not this one. This one. So this is from the assumption that the parent page is doing the iframe creation. Basically, that the iframe load comes from the source attribute of the iframe, for example, and the parent page is setting the source and appending the iframe to the document, and then the load is happening, right? So it's the initial load, let's say, of the iframe. But instead here, we're navigating away, and we're supposed to look. So this is basically trying to figure out whether the parent page has like the right to open a pop-up, right? And this is obviously failing awfully, because for this case we want to check whether the iframe context is allowed to open the pop-up, because we want to consume the interaction from that iframe. So I think I broke this, so like, yeah, this is all my code. That kind of sucks. Anyways, so I think what we should do, so all this is if we go through the relevant issues, yeah, so this is to allow pages to do something like this, where they create a frame with like an IRC link, let's say, right? And we don't want to allow them to spam us, but we do want the use case to work, right? So let's see. So I think this is basically wrong. So we don't always want to use the parent context. We want to use the current context under some circumstances. But I don't know how to check for those circumstances offhand. So you have all this like A state, which is all the state of the load, and yeah, I mean, we could check whether like if the parent is not in process, then use ourselves, right? That may work, but it's a bit dirty, because we really want to check our own context, even if site isolation is not enabled. So there's a bunch of stuff here. We need to check what is the right check here. So source browsing context, maybe. I don't know when this. So if the source browsing context link click. Yeah, let's see what the source browsing context is here. And let's see what our browsing context is, which should hopefully be the same. Alright, and they want to check what the source browsing context is for the initial load. And let's see what's the best way to do that. Okay, so, well, first we'll check that this is the code that's actually causing the issue. So we want the source window context, and let's initialize it to null, and now if it's not null or discarded, then we actually want to get it. And we should stop asserting, and window context. Okay. So if there's no let's just call it. With a bit of a shorter name. And I think if there's no source window, by the time we get here, we can probably stop block it, hopefully. I mean, I can't think of a legit use case for that. Maybe your window.close right after navigation, but I think we should hit this case. So yeah, let's just do that. It's pretty cool here, so I can type very fast. That's so alright. So if the browsing context is active, we're gonna warn here because at least that could be helpful if somebody is debugging this kind of stuff. And if it's okay. I think that should work. And we need to choose a window to send the message to, and yeah, so we cannot warn if there's no source window. So that looks sensible, so let's rebuild now. Let's see if our test case works. Yay! So that's progress. But now why in the world are we not seeing it? Like seeing the console message. So that works. I also need to check that the actual original use case works. So let's check this out. So browser first program block without exception. Alright. So let's run this test, ensure it still works. Phishing shouldn't matter for this, so that doesn't seem very encouraging though. Yeah, did we block it? Okay. So I think we need to do something like this. Oh, let's double check whether we're hitting the new warning I just introduced. I'll make this bigger. So yeah, so there's no source browsing context for the other case we care about, so we need to basically keep using the parent in the case the source browsing context is not set. So we can remove the null check probably. Let's see. Do we also need to check whether the source is in process? There was some like window.location setter here. Can you navigate across origin A-frame setting its window location? That's interesting. Maybe we should be using this instead. So the load state has a valid user gesture activation, which is some of what we want to check. We need to check that too. But okay, so did I rebuild? This is also not working as suspected. Okay, so I Guess it's our time actually. So let's see. iFrame. Source. Okay, so let's build, let's run the make our artwork in AMD Ryzen script. Let's first run a mock test. And see why it's failing. Oh, shoot. Okay. So that is stupid on my side. We were running the file underscore thing, but that's not even a test. So oh no. That looks right. So I mean, the browser's clearly doing stuff. And there's a DS error here, but that shouldn't be relevant. But our printf is clearly not being hit. Why? I don't know. Do I need to click run a test? That could be weird. Oh no, it is hitting. There's no source. And it should be hitting it here as well. Okay. So we got it recorded, and we're gonna see what's going on. So let's replay. So I don't know why that different. Did I just typoed the logic somewhere? So that looks good so far. That looks good as well. That looks good. Oh. That doesn't look good. I just blocked it all. That's stupid. Okay. That was so dumb. Some of the printfs as well. Now like the test should hopefully pass. Yeah, that does look much better. Yay. Okay. So I think this is the right thing to do. But now we need to write a test. And what else? What else? Browser not block without user interaction, and I'm gonna do something very similar to that. Handler test, smoke test. Setup, new handler. Seems we have a bunch of subtests here. Don't click the name, close by tab navigation, multiple dialogues. We had a simpler test for this blocking. Let me check. Config. Iframe. Block. External protocol in iframes. So don't HTML test external protocol iframe sounds relevant. Yeah. So not blocked without user. Yeah, this is browser external protocol OP iframe.ts. And let's ensure, well, let's, yeah, I don't know what the best way, what the best test to adapt is. Yeah, let's do browser protocol as dialog. cd or browser protocol as dialog, and because this has already a test case to break and such. So crystal p iframe boundless to protocol request. That sounds about right, except we want it to be cross-origin. Huh. Okay. So file nested protocol request op html, and we have like a fancy thing to help here. SDS. Right. So yeah, let's just do that. Something like this should do. And we don't get an extra file. And const UI source document builder ahref now to help at example.com. Alrighty. So use the source. Need to use the right quotes here. And all right, that sounds about right. So URI, so we open the tab, we wait for the dialog, and we need to synthesize the mouse, but as we need to send a link to an external iframe, so we're going, I'm pretty sure this should allow a list of stuff. So if target synthesize mouse target, so if it's an array, okay, so if it's an array, then we just synthesize nested links. So let's just do iframe a link and browsing context children 0, which, oh, so this was explicitly peeking at the iframe tree already. Let's not do that. Let's just use the nested iframe machinery, because I don't know if, like, we don't have the guarantee that it's loaded here. So so content document location.href. Yeah, that's fine. So let's see if our test works. Monkey test, direct assembler test, monkey test, browser protocol, as dialog. It is not working. That's not great. Lots of warning spam here from the multi-test suite. Cure the domain document. Okay. Okay. So browser test student's child is throwing here. Let's see. 303. So yeah, so that is expecting to expecting for it to not be an out of process iframe. Or are you supposed to send a mouse event to a nested iframe? Size. I mean, I've done this before, eventually. Yes, not gonna be super helpful. So since the size mouse is not going to be so it's basically what we want, but let's try AP maybe. Test event target of prime. So okay, so let's do the demo away, which is open new foreground tab, and let's wait for load instead. I think this by default shouldn't wait for the load, and we want to, so wait for load. Oh, it does. Alright then, let's just protocol as dialog.ts. Okay, so yeah, let's just do that. It's not amazing. But it kinda works. I'm not the best at writing browser multi-tests, as you can see. But this ought to work. And it's not. That's amazing. Yeah, still the same error. Huh. I mean, this is not even, you're not using fission right here. So, it's not great. On the document. Why? Let frame equals. Oh. Alright. And Alien misuses testing APIs again. Alright. This without fission enabled. And it works. That's good. Seems to work at least. Alright. Let's do fission enabled now. Should work still. And yeah, the other thing I want to check is whether you can navigate away an iframe using. Oh, well, that it's an assertion again. Okay. I mean, good that I wrote tests, I guess. Oh, not that one. Yeah. All right. It feels like these assertions should be at least diagnostic assertions, which will make them run in nightly builds and should help us catch these kind of bugs. Whoa. Replay -a -m log. So basically what I'm doing here is sending RR. So basically make RR replay the whole thing and marking the output so that I can just look at the log. and go to the right point at the right time, right? So let's try that. I should probably try this to not disturb saying on. And when we get to crash, we can just like replay with the right parameters to go to the right process that's crashing. Shouldn't take long, hopefully. There you go. So now we can open this tab and our replay -p -g, and that gets us to the right point in time. Eventually. So meanwhile, let's see what can be going wrong here. Yes. So first, cat log tools are the fix stacks, which basically will give us the right incarnation, like the right stack frames here. All right. We're interested in the first one only. There you go. Oh, there it is. So it is into URI load. So we're probably. I wonder if this test case, like which test is this? I suspect it's not. Just see the log. Like, it's in process. It's just a click test. Into test bound nested iframes. Yes, it's not. Like this is an existing test that's fading, I think, because we called our thing test OP iframe. So our test should be passing. It's this nested iframes test, which is not. So let's look at the test that's failing. Nested iframes. Alright. So what the heck is this doing? Oh, see. Yeah, so that is the test case, that is the case I was worrying about. So this is basically setting the location of a cross-origin iframe. Well, so the good part is we already have a test case for that. The bad part is we need to handle it somehow. Alright. So does this test case not crash? Like, does this test case run on automation with vision enabled? Seems to. At least. Yeah, there's no efficient skip text there. Alright, so nasty part is, yeah, so it's basically receiving a message, then setting location, and it just happened to work before because we have two different cross-origin iframes, one inside another. That's unfortunate. Okay, so so we basically do one. Okay, so in order to fix the assertion at least, stock shell so okay, so if the source window context is not in process, then we're done. Like, you don't get a free pass because you cannot be similarly with top. I guess you can, really, but we don't care. No, like, I mean, well, the iframe may be similar to the top, but the source, yeah, if the source is not in process, then you cannot be similar to the top. So we're just going to bail out there and handle that case. Then if you can show pop-ups, that's fine. You consume cancel user gesture. Does that depend on? Does that require us being in process? Yes. That is unfortunate. So, like, we really want to consume to transfer. Just so basically, otherwise, you get into this state where this is getting tricky. So you do need to consume the gesture activation, right? And so basically we carry around whether a load state has one user gesture activation, but that's not really all we want, because we really want to prevent you from spamming continuously. Even if you have a valid user activation, we want to consume it, and this will achieve it. So I mean, we ideally, so this is going to be a bit racy in the LP iframe case. So we're allowed to check. No, we don't even allow you to check. Why? Right, so this is basically yeah, that is unfortunate. because you ideally do want this to work, right? So like there's no reason in theory that you couldn't like window.location across origin iframe, and I think we're just going to roll with it. I mean, it's not great, that's for sure. So instead of source, let's do this is called context, and context to check user interaction with for the stuff. So So basically, the context we want to check user interaction against is ideally the source browsing context. Worst case, the current browsing context. So yeah, let's do that. And if there's no source, the source is not in process. Generally want to check So basically, if somebody clicks, yeah, this is a bit unfortunate though, altogether. This is not great. So I'm gonna send something like this for review, because it does fix the issues. It's not clear if we want to make the user activation stuff process safe or not. But we can't really see it. Prevent spamming from multiple from this click. Actually, pop-up is in fact process safe, I think, so we should be able to use it. And yeah, I think we really want that. We want, yeah. So window context, source window context. Your we really want to. It feels like there should be a way to check whether there's a margin with the top window within. Yeah. So the other thing we could do is basically always use parent page as the source context, which is not always accurate. And then just fall back. Yeah, so the test is passing now. The other one as well should be passing. Those are first and not blocked with user interaction. But we want to do something more simplistic. Rather than just taking the source seems like the right thing to do. Okay, so the other issue is, yeah, so this is working now. That's great. Yeah, I think this is good enough for now. Like, it's definitely better. So it's not a regression, and it does the right thing. When phishing is disabled, and when phishing is enabled, it does the right thing. Almost always. So the other thing is, we should be checking whether, yeah. So we should be getting a message, like a warning message, even in, that is not working at all. That is very odd. So we put console, we may want to look into that separately, but that seems okay for now. So let's do that. So bug check and process in the context of user interaction. Equals mode. So either small but Erica should be good reviewers for this. These are the two DOM people most familiar with this. So it feels intercase with filtering from inside the building. We don't want to check for activation from current window by ourselves. It feels like using the source window context for these checks is always the right thing to do, but it's not always possible if we set location href on an out of process item from a process find. In this case, we will back to checking user activation, consuming on the iPhone itself. We could consider making the user activation stuff more process friendly, but it's not working. It's worth it. This is this statement is class.js. And run with fishing label. Okay, so that seems good. It feels like we should try to assert a bit harder here, so I'll just see. So let's do that. Browsing context.cpp. And process show is window context. Make some browsing context, window context asserts. Diagnostic asserts. Is for the issue a lot soon. Alright. So now the other thing we need to check is why the console doesn't get record console by window ID. It's not working front vision reframes. That is not great. I think for now, I don't know how long I've been recording. Well, that's almost an hour. Well, more than an hour. So yeah, that seems plenty for now. And I think we are going to just file a bug for this for now and investigate it in a follow-up. So new bug, that depends on this bug. DevTools. Console. And this content utils. Report to console by window ID. From vision iPhone can seem to be working. bug is hitting the locked case in here. But the message is not showing up in the console for the... That seems good enough for now. And yeah, let's submit our commits. It ended up being a bit more complicated than I expected, but that's how things go. And it is not available specification, but let's just do that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, we didn't end up using RR all that much. It ends up being like super useful to figure out why something doesn't work, but like in this case we could kinda get around not using it. So I don't know, I hope you enjoyed this, and see you next time.